All right, North Central Nfused. We are doing a special version of this podcast, non-management version of this podcast too. I'm joined this morning by Nyla Osborne, our HR representative. Say hi.
Hi. Hello.
Jabrice Rounds. I'm confused on your job title. What is that exactly?
I am the billing analyst.
Billing analyst. Our customer service supervisor, Ashley Sandelin.
Hello.
And our customer service representative, Hannah Tyner.
Hi.
Hey. So what we're doing today is we're talking about this Musicians for Bonheur project that North Central has gotten behind. And September 3rd, we will be releasing an album with 40 local area musicians and bands. And we've been coordinating hospital visits this summer. And you guys have all volunteered to be a part of that and use some of the volunteer hours that North Central gives in order to visit patients and families. So I wanted you guys to be in on this. And how has that experience been? I know you guys have all gone on different dates, but I'll start with you. What have you seen as far as this summer goes?
Well, it was wonderful. It just reminded me how fortunate we are living in this area and having a top-notch children's hospital so close. And the visit was awesome. The music was awesome. And yeah, it was great. It was great.
Jabrice?
Yeah, same here. To piggyback off this knowledge here, it was really, really great. As far as like the musicians we had, and then to actually seeing the kids, and then to see how much they're interested in the different genres of music and the artists that come, and then interested into their backstory. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
All right, and you were there yesterday. You followed Free World around, didn't you?
I did. I really did. I actually listened to their CD on the way home too. So, yeah, I liked all the bands that were there yesterday. I thought they were very upbeat and had some good different music going on. And I loved seeing the kids and passing out goodie bags to them and seeing them smile, and it was great. I loved it.
Okay, and Hannah?
It was a lot of fun. We got to see a couple different bands whenever we were there. They had being able to go to the kids' rooms and stuff was one of my favorite parts. Some we got to see in the rooms and some we got to see in the hallway. It was just a lot of fun being able to see a smile on their face whenever you bring somebody in to do something like that, and then even being able to just talk to the families that are there as well.
Okay, so and then that's one of the things that the North Central volunteers did was we provided gift bags filled with art supplies and coloring books and I think even stress balls from had the North Central brand on it. And if anybody needs it, it's a family at Bonheur. But one of the things that we've been asking is we are working on doing a lot of promotions for this and promoting the artists and telling their stories and everything like that. But we asked them if there is a particular story that stuck out to them or a particular patient or watching this, these performances and seeing somebody that reacted more than others. So did any of you guys have that when you went around and followed the bands that you were following?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
His name
Yeah,
was Victor.
Yeah.
And I forget where he was from, but
Peru.
Yes. Yeah, you already know. They said that he loved music, and they were really excited about. We were glad that he was up, and they were asking him, Free World did, who he liked, and he liked Santana, and he named off someone else, and then they played a couple of different things for him, and it was neat, and they sung in Spanish. I mean, it was really
you know somebody that's not familiar with Santana music. They played Oye Como Va.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like it sounds good. Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah. I don't really listen to that kind of music, so.
And so for you, Nyla, getting to see the patients, I probably already know who you're going to talk about. Mm-hmm. Who is it?
Rain, who was two or three.
Two, I think. Yeah.
And just a precious little girl. And the band that I was...
Fast Mothers.
Yes. Okay. That's it. They actually had a song, Rain, that they sang to her. And it was great. And then next thing we know, Rain is wanting to get out of the bed and follow the band around.
She
did.
she was like the roadie. She's like, I mean, she had she was hooked up to a few things, but they kind of like made it more portable, and she had a wagon that she was pulled around in to follow the band. Then she would she was pulled in. Her parents would pull her to the room. She would get out and start dancing, like outside the room while the band's playing in another room. She's like, no, I'm following these guys around.
Yeah.
So and so Jabrice, you and I followed around Cody Clark yesterday, and I mean, was there anything that stuck out for you?
It was a couple. It was a couple of them that did. The second girl that we went to, I can't remember her exact name, but she was into classical music. And she had actually taken some few music classes and music lessons, so she was kind of in between. Like they could actually talk about different music stuff, and I had no clue what they were talking about. But they were actually into it.
I don't think Cody did either. He was like, I think she's more talented than I am, and I'm about to perform for her.
And she was really into with the songs and the different genres and stuff. And with the last girl we went to, man, she sat up in the bed and she was just all into it. I think she actually talked to him about different genres she was into. Like some of the stuff I never even heard of. I was like, I need to expand my music selection. She is on it. And she was naming all these different bands and stuff, like, and telling them, how well that they did and just the songs and stuff like that. So
I think, because it was one of the girls said that Cody sounded like Corey Taylor, and he just left. He was like, I sound like a rock star. That was awesome. So yeah, and Hannah, you followed around like the youngest act that we have on this project, Under the Radar. What was that like for you, getting to go around?
It was pretty neat. I just loved being able to see the smiles on those kids' faces. The situations that they're in, we don't think about those on a daily basis. And being fortunate enough to not have to be there. One thing that was something I didn't know is they did have an older patient there, an adult, that was there for a procedure the next day. And I was like, I didn't know that they even did that. So
if you start off as a Bonheur patient, you're like a patient there for life.
Okay.
I've got, actually, I have a former classmate of mine who's in his 30s, still getting brain treatments over there. And I was surprised to hear that too. But yeah, you stick around there for life. So those patients come back.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
So yeah, it's an amazing hospital, and I don't know what floor you guys were on, but me and Jabrice were on the top, and so like there's this like gorgeous view of downtown Memphis.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, but I mean, just getting to use your volunteer hours and do something like this, what is that like for you? What does that say to you as, I guess, either the company that Northcentral is or the project that we're representing here?
Northcentral is great anyways,
Yeah.
and we're so community-wide. I mean, I just feel like we do so much for the community, and to work somewhere that will allow you to, do things like that. I love it, and I appreciate it.
They don't make us stay in the office all the time. We get to go out and do things all the time, year round. So
Yes,
that's
that's
nice to do.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up, at least this segment of the podcast. I will have interviews with the Everdeens, the Fast Mothers, Under the Radar, Jody Ross, and Josh Shaw of Black Hippie. So we will have that on the podcast, but you can also check out musiciansforlebonheur.com, northcentralepa.com. We link everything together, and this new CD will be available for sale on September 3rd. All right, Northcentral Infused, we are back, and we are here with our country music, one of our country music artists, Jody Ross. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing all right. So the purpose of this podcast is we're going to be introducing people that are involved with Musicians for Bonheur and talk about their experiences with the project so far. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Jody Ross, and I grew up, born and raised in Mississippi. I live in Senatobia now, currently. I'm a school teacher on top of being a musician / music therapist as well. So I wear a lot of hats.
No, keep going. It's okay. No, it's okay. No, I wanted to point out, it's like you always see on social media people like put the music is their life. No, music is your life. Like literally, you see the stuff that you do with music therapy and being a musician and songwriting and playing. out as much as you do. So I mean, you're truly like your entire career is wrapped around music.
Yes, I mean, like my whole life. I mean, I grew up singing in church, and that went to being involved in band and choir and all of that growing up in school, and then pursuing a degree in music therapy and being surrounded by music in college, and I've just always loved music. It's just a part of me.
That's awesome though. So tell us a little bit about the song that you've donated. People can buy this on Spotify, iTunes, and Amazon. We're getting it in a few places around town, but tell us about the song Holding You that you did.
Well, the song Holding You was actually written for my son, Griffin. So I thought it would be very appropriate to donate to the Musician for the Bonheur album, since it benefits the Children's Hospital. And I think as a parent and having a child, it's just that special connection, and I wanted him to always have something that, I gave to him, and, it's always his. So.
Okay. That's awesome. And then it's appropriate that the first album that it's been featured on, I'm sure that'll be featured on a Jody Ross release at some point, right?
Of course.
So tell us about, this was back in May you performed? No, it was June you performed at the hospital.
Yeah, it was June.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
It was a great experience. I was honored to be asked to come and perform for the patients and their families. And again, being a music therapist and having that connection of, patient relationship and using music to work on that relationship and build relationships with people, and just, sharing in a musical experience. It was great to kind of tap back into that side of me and to be able to share my love of music with someone else that could.
Okay, so I have to ask, what is the story or moment that most stuck out to you in that experience?
Well, honestly, there was a little guy that came down to the lobby to listen to all of us play, and he was in his little wagon. And I was the first musician to sing that day, and it was when I started singing. He was like, "Oh, it is just see him light up, that." And then getting to go on the particular floor that I got to tour and meet patients and their families. I got to go on the ICU floor, and those patients, some of them weren't able to talk to me or really interact with me, but it was just great to interact with their families and kind of offer some encouragement, and even just to sing to their family member, even though they may not know that I was singing to them, but it was just a touching moment. So
cool. All right, so tell us what you're up to in September so people can find you and hear you play.
Okay, so in September,
you can use your phone calendar if you need.
I was like, I'm gonna have to look. I have a lot going on currently, so it's kind of hard to keep it all straight, but I'm going to be playing at Bazaar's Bakery in Hernando on September the 6th. On September 21st, I'm going to be playing at the Mississippi Made Ale House. A mutual friend has a food truck, and it's his year anniversary, and so he's going to be parked at the Ale House, and so myself and another artist are going to team up, and we're going to be playing live music that day from like 2 to 8. So
who's the friend?
Stephen Michael, and he also has a song out now, and he's up and coming. So yeah.
Cool. All right, so how can people find you and learn more about you and your music?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Jody Ross Music, and I have a website, jodyrossmusic.com, and that's where you can find all of my events, upcoming events. You can find new releases, that kind of thing, and on Bands in Town. So,
all right, well, thank you for stopping by. We really appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much.
Holding you, I held the world in my hands. Holding you, there's nothing better than spending my days with you. Holding you.
All right, North Central Infused, we are back. We have with us Robin X and Entourage producer Richard Hervey from Lions Den Productions. thank you guys for joining us.
Thank
We
you
really,
for having us.
of course. So real quick, what I want to do is just introduce you. Tell us about yourself, your story, your musical story, I guess.
Well, my name is Robin X. I am an albinism awareness advocate, anti-bullying activist, and black activist as well. Also, I happen to make music. I happen to do that on the side.
On the side. So musician is not job uno, I guess.
No,
it's
it
okay.
definitely is. I'm just messing around.
Yeah, I got you.
All of that I've mentioned is my passion. They all go hand in hand. There's not one without the other.
Gotcha. All right.
So
tell us a little bit about your sound that you're going for with your music.
well, I'm definitely going for an alternative rock sound, a new metal mix with some hip hop, boom bap kind of style. So trying to fuse the best of both worlds.
And that's what I love about this project is you get to hear all these different genres and stuff that you're involved with. And I mean, of course, you have your song, and then there's all the other different genres that we feature. We've done the final count now. It is 42 songs, 41 artists.
Whew.
Yeah, so it's been fun putting this album together, and of course, listening to it in my office and not irritating my neighbors with it. So, but so I came to you guys and I said I want to feature you on this album. Why say yes?
First of all, it's Bonheur.
Absolutely.
And just of course, growing up and going to the hospital myself and knowing how they treat the kids, just being a kid going there, but to grow up and really see the positive impact that they're starting to have on these young lives, it's a beautiful thing to me. If anything is very important to me, it's the children, the kids, and I love what Bonheur is doing with the music, with how they're handling their patients. It's a beautiful cause. How could I say no to that?
And Richard, I know you've been kind of silent over there. What drew you to this cause?
Well, kind of like what Rob said, it's Bonheur. I mean, you don't turn down the kids for one, But,
Right.
I have been there. I was very young, and I had a couple of coworkers that had their kids go there, and just to experience, just hearing their stories, But I mean, when you get a chance to give what you've been blessed to do, to help other people, that's really, we're given blessings to give the blessing. So it was yes before we didn't have to think about it, to be honest with you.
Well, we're happy to have you guys
and
on there.
And too, we appreciate the fact you even thought of us to
Right.
ask, to be on it, so.
Right.
This was a project that we started, or I started back in 2010, then kind of picked it up in 2013 with that's where we got the idea for the double album. But then 2015, we kind of retired it for a little while, and then working for Northcentral, we get back here, and that's one of the big key things that attracts me to this job is that we get, the volunteering and the charities that we get involved with. And I came up with a proposal for Musicians for Bonheur to bring it back, and they said yes. And so my favorite part of the job is looking up all these artists and going, this person's good, we need to get this person, I need to harass this
Right.
person and get them on my CD. or not my CD, but our CD, because this is it's a collective effort.
I don't know, so it's,
Yeah,
Right.
but
it don't happen
it's
without you.
I appreciate that, but it's it's nothing without the various people that are willing to help out and be a part of this. And speaking of which, you guys actually got to perform at the hospital back in May. What is that like compared to a show that somebody's going to pay $5 to get into?
Man, it's heartfelt. It was heavy, and it was heavy in a sense of care. It was heavy in love. Not only did we perform downstairs, but we had the pleasure of going up to the rooms and seeing the kids and meeting them. Some kids were bedridden and they just couldn't get up. There are certain kids that were just in so much immense pain that they were, they had to be medicated to calm their urges to make them sleepy,
Yeah.
That was painful. So to be able to go in there and sing to them and bring a smile to their face, that is, money can't buy that.
One of the things that for me, I didn't mean to cut you off. Rob.
You're
One
definitely
of the things
fine.
For me was the fact that when you walk in, and by the time you walk out, you question every reason you ever complained in your life.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you like to think that you're always everybody likes to think they're even keeled and then they have a good balance of, I'm blessed in this way, that way. But when you walk in the presence, then it's like, yeah, I'm tripping. I need to
Right.
get my stuff together. And that was what it was like for me. It was like, so it was great, but it was hard not to, I guess, be hard on myself
Yeah.
in that sense,
Right.
But you leave there smiling. That's the
Yes.
interesting thing. It's so funny, and I've said this before because we've done these performances in the past. When you can get somebody to donate their time, give up their afternoon or 4 hours of their day, and then they at the end of it they're going, "Thank you for inviting." It's like you're doing something right.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this is seeing the care that these musicians have for this community, and of course bringing that to a children's hospital. So. Real quick, I want to ask you, where can we find you next? How can people find you online? Kind of promote yourself just a little bit.
Awesome. We will be at the Cooper Young Festival next. So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
You can find me everywhere at RobinX. That's ROBENX. On Instagram, I am the RobinX, TheRobenX. Twitter at the RobinX, TheRobenX. TeamRobinX.com. We also have merchandise at Intel.com/TeamRobinX. We have a YouTube account at RobinX, ROBENX. Facebook, ROBENX. We are everywhere, ladies and gentlemen, and you can also find us on the Le Bonheur Musicians for Le Bonheur soundtrack. Thank you.
You're actually on there twice, technically.
I am.
Yeah, because we recorded a new version of Heavy Meditation with the Chinese Connection Dub Embassy, and of course your song Pure.
The most amazing people in the world.
Oh my God, that was an insane session, getting to hang out with you guys and do that. But you're currently listening to Pure by Robin X, featured on the Musicians for Le Bonheur album, and we will have that ready for you guys on September 3rd.
Blood still runs to your veins. Why do you wanna leave? It's you as a human being. No one sees your exhaustion. No one hears when you scream. So I get them satisfaction of watching you walk away. Dying gets freaking easy. Living you have to pay. Invest yourself in the pain. Stubborn, rubbish. Lose yourself to the pain. You're still breathing, able to fight again. Trials and tribulation, trapped inside of this game. Purpose you have to change. How you gonna make a difference when you just staying the same? The risk is too freaking high. You're better off trying to dive from a mountain and build a
All right, North Central Infused, we are back with Under the Radar. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good. All right, so first, real quick, just introduce you guys. Tell me a little bit about yourselves.
My name is Matt Ireland. I'm the bass player. I do some background vocals, and I have a lot of fun playing this band.
Okay.
My name is Zeke. I'm the front man. That means lead vocals, lead guitar, and yeah.
Okay.
My name is Ryan, the drummer. I'm in the back. So.
I understand. So how did you guys get your start?
Well, me and Ryan, we met at a music school called School of Rock. It's in Germantown. And we played, we did our little show together, and, we met. And then just one day I told my dad, hey, Dad, I want to start a band. I think I know who can be the drummer. So, I let Ryan know. And then I played a show with Matt in Millington. And so I was like, all right, we have the pieces together. Let's make it happen.
Okay.
The rest is history.
Okay. So and how young are you guys?
Well, Ryan's going to be a senior in high school.
Okay.
I'm going to be a sophomore, and Matt's going to be a junior.
So like 17, 16, and 15 and 16.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess that right. So and you guys have already released 2 albums.
That's correct.
There's people in their 40s that haven't even released 2 albums. What do you guys, it's like, that's a pretty big accomplishment. So, I mean, it's like, and at your age to have that much material. So, like, what's that been like for you guys? It's just to crank out 2 albums before you're able to move out of your parents' house.
I mean, it's insane. Like it's so cool to like be able to see that stuff on like streaming platforms and like have your own CD and everything. I mean, it's a really cool like feeling to know, especially all the hard work we put into it and all the people involved and everything. You know, it's really good once that product is done to just like be able to listen to it and enjoy it and know other people are going to do the same. It's really cool.
Okay. So, all right. So you guys, this is your first year dealing with Musicians for Bonheur. What attracted you to this kind of project?
It's just giving back to the community. I mean, we were given a talent, and we want to share that with everyone else. So, I mean, we just go into a patient's room and play a song, and seeing their day brighten makes our day brighten so much more.
And now, do you guys so you guys performed it's actually a couple weeks ago in July. You guys performed for the hospital. What was the reaction like when you were performing for patients and seeing what your music did for them?
Well, theirs was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Nice to meet you, you know. But I mean, when I got back home, you know, it was just a cool feeling to know like this is, you know, we were invited out to do this, you know. It was, you know, we had the opportunity to do this, you know, and it seemed to be, you know, enjoyed, and that was really cool.
Okay, so what do you have like a specific memory that kind of sticks out for you when you think back on doing this or visiting the hospital?
I mean, just playing, you know, we rarely strip it down acoustically, right? So having that opportunity to just kind of be a little bit more intimate with, you know, our audience was very cool, you know, and just interacting, you know, just like talking about how much my sister is a pain in my butt, you know, and I hope the little girl's not that to her parents, but, you know, so it was just a very heartwarming experience.
Okay. All right, so where are you guys playing next? What's happening for you guys in September, October, or later on?
We were playing at the Beer Garden in Saddle Creek.
When's that?
August 17th.
August 17th, okay. So anything happening later on this year for you guys?
Yes, we're playing on the main stage at Nfused.
Awesome. Okay.
I'm excited for that.
So that's in late September, right?
Yes.
I believe. Okay. So yeah, if you want to find those dates, you can look up Cooper Young Festival. And how can people find out a bit more about Under the Radar?
All the social media platforms. I know Instagram is UTR the band. Actually, UTR Memphis. Excuse me. Our website utrtheband.com. You can find all that stuff.
All right. So we're going to end this little segment with your song that you've donated for Musicians for Bonheur. It's called Boom. Tell us, like, how old were you when you wrote this song? Since I'm like so fascinated by your age here and how much you've accomplished at such a young age.
So I was like 14 or 15, right? I mean, he was like 13, 14.
Yeah.
Like it was, I mean, about 14, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what was the inspiration for this song?
It was just we wanted something that hit the audience just right away.
Just the energy is, I think.
All right. Well, thank you guys for stopping by. This is Northcentral Nfused, and you're listening to Under the Radar. We are here with 2 out of the 5 Everdeens, right?
There's 5.
There's 5 of you guys.
Yeah.
With Charles and Braylon here. So tell us, I mean, this is a special version of the podcast for Musicians for Bonheur. So tell us a little bit about you guys, yourselves, with the band, the sound, how you got formed, all that good stuff.
Well, I'll go first because I imagine that Charles will probably want to tell more about the story of the band. So just to get me out of the way, like you said, my name's Braylon. I play guitar in the band, and I've been in here for probably a little over a year at this point with the current lineup of the band.
Yeah, so I started it. I'm the OG. I'm the original and the founder. I started it back in 2012 as another project, and then about in 2015 it evolved into the Everdeens, and Sam is the only remnant from that era of the Everdeens. And then
Sam is the drummer, by the way.
Oh, yeah, Sam's our drummer.
And he plays a mean chair, we've learned.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he
He'll do
does.
chair solos for days.
I think
we'll
that-
talk more about the chair
yeah.
solo here in a minute. But yeah.
But yeah, then probably I want to say late 2016 and early 2017, Molly came in.
Mm-hmm.
I got her, and then later that summer we lost one of the original guitarists, and then we got Tyler, who we had played with in multiple shows before that, and then about a year after that, Braylon came on board. So I'm the only one. And
So it's like a combination behind the music and then like sports trading team. You know, it's just like we lost this guy and got it's I understand. I mean, that's what it's being like in a band is you're just prepared to have some lineup changes every now and then. So
yeah, well, people change over time,
Yeah.
and people's priorities change over time. So
okay, well, all right. So tell us a little bit about your sound because it's a little unique. I mean, you're a rock band, but I mean, it seems like more kind of.
Well, I personally, and I think this bleeds into the band, and I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I personally have a pretty eclectic sound. I like to do everything. First album that I did with the very first incarnation of the band is like 20-something tracks, and each track was pretty much a different genre of music, and it was just experimenting. I always say we're indie alternative. You know, and that to me that pretty much just justifiably sums up that I can kind of do what I want, and not have too many questions asked, and not also be too over the mark.
Gotcha.
Yeah, when I was drafted, it was pitched to me as indie rock, and here more recently, Taylor over at Refreshing Shows has been calling us melodic rock. So I guess we could be like melodic indie, post alternative.
I found out melodic rock is post alternative pop. Just keep going. I found out actually melodic rock is just another word for arena rock. It's basically like Kings of
we
Leon
play
and
arenas
stuff.
every now and then.
Yeah,
so.
every now and then. I hear Tool's gonna go on tour soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, you guys, you're first timers to the Musicians for the Bonheur project. Why would you get involved with something like this?
Well, we've done St. Jude for 3 years. 3 years out of the
St. Jude Marathon.
St. Jude Marathon. We didn't do it in 2016. Thank God we didn't do it in 2016. It was horrible that year. But we've done it the 2015, 17, and 18. And honestly, St. Jude and Le Bon are pretty synonymous with Memphis, and in the medical Memphis scene as well. I don't really know too much about the health industry here, but I mean, Le Bon, St. Jude, very well known outside of Memphis.
And to come back to something I said in the short interview that we did after the things that when we actually came to play at Le Bon, is that it's more personally fulfilling to play knowing that you're playing for a purpose that's more than just selfish and like I get to play my instrument and look cool. Like, yeah.
That's not
there's a satisfaction that comes along with, like I said there, when you're actually playing face to face with the kids in the rooms, you get that sense of making somebody else happy on a personal level, that one-to-one connection that you can have with somebody.
Absolutely. So you just good segue in because you guys performed at Le Bonheur, and you guys got to visit the rooms of some of the patients, and so tell us about that a little bit.
Man, it was a lot of fun. It could be very sobering at times, but we made some really great connections with some of the kids. Like there was one kid in particular that Tyler, our other guitar player, they got into this big conversation about Disney and Disney parks and Disney musicals and characters. How the little girl actually, her favorite thing in the world were musicals, and so they started talking about that.
No, that's the other one. Not there was the Disney one. Wait, are we talking about the first one? Or the second one?
We're trying to remember this was 2 months ago for you guys.
Well,
right?
one of the girls was older, and she was into musicals, and then the little girl, like the real little girl, because the other one was like a teenager.
Okay.
Was she the Disney one? I thought she was the Disney one. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't remember.
Okay, so I mean, we've got to talk about Sam playing the chair. Sam, your drummer, forgot to bring his cajon upstairs to perform with the rest of you guys. So tell us about that. He sits down and starts playing the chair as if it was a drum kit.
Yeah, I mean, we decided that we wanted to play this song that had a pretty mandatory drum part in it, and we said, Sam, this is your job, and you need to find something that you can play this drum solo on.
Who knew all the different parts of a chair could just do it so
And
well?
yeah, he didn't just play on one part of the chair. He went around. He made it a chair set. So.
This wasn't just like a K-Hone.
Yeah.
You know, it is. I'll try and get some video on this, but yeah, him playing the armrest and the seat and the legs. It's pretty amusing. So, where can people see you guys? This is airing in September. So, what are you guys doing in September and on for the rest of the year?
Well, unfortunately, in September, it's pretty much our hiatus month. A lot of the members are leaving town alternately during the week. But we have 2 shows right in the beginning of October. So October 5th, Hotkey Studios and is it Refreshing Shows?
Yes.
Yeah. They are hosting a contest between some of the, I guess, bigger local bands for, I think, a free music video and free studio time.
Okay.
But don't hold me to that, but I'm sure that's what they're offering.
Yeah, because this is kind of like the second go around at this competition that collaborative team has done. So we're just kind of assuming that the prizes are going to be similar to what they were the first time.
Last time. And then after that, on the 11th of October, we're doing a 3-hour set over at Crosstown Brewery.
3-hour set.
Split up.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
it's like a 3 hours. So it's all you guys.
Yeah. Well, we'll do covers and originals, and they pretty much will let us do what we want. That's what they told me, at least.
That's
but
cool, though.
Those are so far after September. Those are only 2 gigs set up for now, and then
I'm sure there'll be a Halloween show set up somewhere. We can't miss that.
Okay.
So.
And then we got, and then St. Jude way in the distance. Yeah.
So for the Halloween show that might happen, where can people find out more about you guys and where you're playing, and if that Halloween show will come to pass?
So our main engagement spots are going to be Facebook and Instagram at Everdean's Music. We also have a little baby Twitter account that's kind of
we kind of forget exists every now and then.
It's kind of like
hard to keep up with.
It's the Home Alone account is what it is. But so yeah, the Instagram and Facebook definitely the place to keep up with us.
Okay. All right, and so we're gonna play you guys out with the song that you've donated for Musicians for Bonheur. This is Middle Kids. You guys actually got to perform this at Bonheur. I think this was the featured song with the chair.
Yeah, this is the chair solo song.
Patients are
the chair song.
Well, thank you guys for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
My friends assured me that it was all or nothing. It's never been easy, so long as it's love. But I blame it on me, probably delusional when it came down to it. I'll admit as much. Catch me, all bloodied up behind the liquor store. Catch me, with a cigarette saved from the asphalt. Catch me, standing where I should have mastered the art of conversation to the late night. And I thought I heard them laugh, but it's just as well I don't hear it now. Finding myself.
All right, and we are back. I'm sitting here with Chris Rubel from the Fast Mothers, the heavyweight champions of Memphis Rock. Is that the title? I was close. All right. So, first off, I mean, just tell us about the Fast Mothers.
Well, I tell you, we as the Fast Mothers have been at this for 15 years. My brother and I originally started it off to honor our late father who passed away. He was a Memphis musician, well known in the scene, in the theater, in the club scene. So anyhow, long story short, we've been at this 15 years writing original music and have been graced with the presence of Memphis sport. It's been amazing for us.
Okay, cool. So you guys joined up with the Musicians for Bonheur. It's your first year doing this.
Yes.
We did this from 2013 to 15, took a break, and then, of course, back in 2019. But what drew you to this? project?
Well, we were drawn to the first couple events. We just weren't sure of the protocol, and we were busy playing festivals everywhere during the first couple of years. But to answer your question, what drew us to it? Personal reasons. My daughter, who was a Le Bonheur child at the age of 6, was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes. And as new parents, her mother and I, we had no clue about this thing. We immediately went to Le Bonheur. They helped us raise our child. She's full grown, married, has 2 children of her own. And secondly, we have 2 members of the Fast Mothers who were former Le Bonheur children as well. So it's they've been a part of our family for years.
Okay, so it was July. We had you guys come to the hospital, perform for the kids in the lobby, and then go up to the patient's room.
Oh yes.
And what's that like versus any other gig that you've done anywhere else?
Well, I tell you what, we've had some highlights in 15 years in Memphis music, and this is at the top, literally at the top. We still talk about it to this day. We were put on a higher plane as far as feeling proud of what we've been able to do for others. It wasn't about the Fast Mothers. It wasn't about any of the musicians that participated. We noticed that all of them felt the same as we did. Just having the children and the parents have a brief break, take their minds off of things and enjoy some rock and roll. Yeah, we had a blast.
And okay, so I had, because I followed you guys around. So I'm kind of like interviewing for everybody else's benefit, it seems like. But it was so funny to me because one of the first rooms you guys stop in is this little girl named Rain.
Rain, oh my goodness.
And of course, you guys have a song called Rain.
Yeah.
So it's kind of worked out for her.
Yeah.
But then she decides, I'm not sitting in the room anymore. I'm going to follow the band around to the rest of the hall. What is that like? What does that do for you? It's like this girl that can barely even speak.
Just if I could paint a picture, since this is audio, I can tell you, listen, she came out, asked her father to put her in her walker, and she wanted to see the band. And we come out of the second room, so she's in her walker. Then we go to the third room, and we've noticed her by then. And we come out of the third room, she's out of her walker. She's holding her wires, everything that's connected to her. And as far as we understood, she was still recuperating. She wasn't really, I don't think, supposed to have that much activity. It touched our hearts so much. We had to push back the tears, literally, because most of us are parents. We're at that age now. And for myself, I'm a grandparent, so the children have my heart. But that Rain girl, oh my goodness, I will live with that for the rest of my life. It's such a blessing.
And what we're going to do is with this, we have the footage. We're filming a documentary of this, but I'm going to share some of the footage on top of this video. So anybody that's watching this podcast can see little Rain and her dancing outside. Well, I mean, she was just following you guys around the entire time. And her parents were so cool to spend time with you guys and love what you guys do. So, real quick before we end this segment, where can folks find you guys, and what are you doing in September on?
Well, I tell you, we've got a show coming up first at August 18th at Neil's, and it's a benefit. And this is something else that we feel conviction to give back to the community. The Le Bonheur, and we're playing for a couple benefits that are close to us. This is at Neil's, August 18th. We'll also be at Murphy's, playing a cool show in Midtown, which will be all original music for about 3 hours. From then on, we're just going to pick up whatever we can. We mainly stay local now. We're too old to travel, so. But you can catch any of our performances or music, any of that type of thing on any streaming device or wherever.
Yeah, you guys are on Spotify and iTunes.
Everything,
and
YouTube,
else.
you name it, we're there.
And so, That's the Fast Mothers. You can find them on Facebook. I think you guys do you guys use Twitter? Because
Yes, actually we do. Barely use Twitter, but I promise we'll get on top of that. But you
if
can follow us.
if people tweet you, then maybe you'll
Then
get on
we
Twitter.
will. No,
Okay,
we
yeah.
do Twitter, Facebook, of course, because we're addicted to that. But
Who isn't?
Yeah, but any media stream, any way you get your information, we're there. Look us up.
All right, and we're going to play this out. Your song on the Musicians Philip Bonheur album. This is New Stacks. The album will be released on September 3rd. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
Got no sympathy for you in this song. Knew you were the devil in disguise all night long. Why don't you come on inside and let's talk about the thing that divides. How my brother and my sister, they've been so true for so very long. I got no sympathy for you in this song. I knew you were the devil in disguise all night. I knew you were the devil in disguise all night long.
And for our last segment, Northcentral Nfused, a special Musicians for the Bonheur podcast, I'm joined by Josh Shaw of the Black Hippie. Sorry, I keep wanting to say the Black Hippie Band.
Yeah, it's all good. When we used to be St. John, and when we were on we had our Facebook page, it wouldn't let us just have St. John, so I had to do St. John Band. So when we switched to Black Hippie, Facebook wouldn't let us cut off the band until recently. So we just get billed for Black Hippie Band sometimes it's Black Hippie. You never know.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and what kind of music you guys put out.
Okay, well, I am a local Memphian. I went to school in Jackson, Tennessee for a couple of years, 4 years, and I majored in music, so I started during my recording class or whatever. I had my junior year, I started recording a bunch in my room, and it was just really, really weird lo-fi stuff, really weird. Cause I was only started playing guitar, so I wasn't really good at it. So it was just really complicated piano parts and then just one string solos. But
Okay.
yeah, but it kind of graduated after I graduated, and when I came back to Memphis, started doing a bunch of solo shows and stuff, and then slowly started building a band around it. So if I could describe the band, it's kind of we call it sad boy indie rock, but a lot of it is just whatever we really feel like doing. But it all kind of has the same kind of chill, I don't know, the only way I could put it is a VHS kind of vibe, you know?
Okay.
No matter what we do, it still has that kind of vibe to it.
So, all right, so a little retro, a little
Yeah.
okay, all right, that makes sense. So, so you've been. I approached you guys in January to be a part of Musicians for the Bonheur. Why become a part of a project like this?
Well, you always I don't know, you always think, when you get whenever you really start inwardly searching, you think about what the meaning of everything is and how lucky you are to be given some sort of talent or something like that. And anytime you have an opportunity to use it for the good and to help someone else out, it's always really good to do. Plus, why not? Why not, for the benefit of kids, play music? That's pretty cool. That's pretty noble, you know what I mean? With the grand scheme of things. Because a lot of it, when you're a musician, you do a lot of, annoying, dumb stuff a lot. And it's fun to, actually do something really cool that benefits someone that's not, you or your band.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you performed back in May for the patients and families, and so and to give you guys a little bit of background, we've been showing some video here and there of these artists performing at this hospital and following people up to the rooms. We could not follow you; the camera crew could not follow you to those rooms that you were visiting. So tell me about your experience. You performed in the lobby, then you went upstairs, and what happened up there?
So I went to the it's this kind of none but a bunch of kind of isolation chambers, lack of a better term, where you have a lot of the really sicker kids that can't really be out and about much. They're kind of locked in these kind of huge all glass rooms or whatever. So I got to kind of just play outside for them and the family members to kind of just uplift a bunch of spirits, because the vibe there is kind of you know, you feel the seriousness the second you get on the floor. You know what I mean? The gravity of like whatever the situation is, and getting to kind of relieve the stress of like not only just like the kids and their parents, but also the doctors and nurses working there that are so stressed to have to work that around the clock. Kind of be able to give them like at least like an hour or so of relief and kind of calm their nerves was pretty cool to me.
So you went up there and like, did you perform songs that you've written, or was it some covers, or
kind of both, a mixture? Kind of just felt the vibe and kind of just did whatever kind of fit with everything. So it was fun. A lot of it was mostly just really fun little acoustic guitar songs and stuff like that to kind of mellow everybody out, and then a few of my other. And I just worked in a few like of our own music and stuff like that. But it was really fun.
All right, so how is that intimidating? Like walking, because I haven't even been to that floor.
It's not really intimidating, but it's just you feel. I don't know. You feel the severity of it the second you walk in. The second that elevator door opens and you step foot on that floor, you feel it. You feel like, hey man, like this kid has this wrong with him. This kind of like, you feel like the severity of it, and it kind of puts a lot of things in perspective for you. And just in general, being like, hey, man, I have the privilege to be walking. You take so many things for granted. And I never even thought of, like, just the freedom to walk and come and go where I please is something I take for granted. And seeing the people that don't have that opportunity, like, was wild to me. And it was, I don't know, kind of like, it kind of struck something inside me and kind of just realized, like, man, how lucky I am to be able to have my freedom. But with my freedom, I can chip away at some of my freedom in order to help the people that don't have the freedom I have.
Wow. Okay, and you got to experience that all in one afternoon. Big epiphany.
Oh yeah.
So where can people find you, the Black Hippie band, or Black Hippie?
You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Bandcamp, Google Play, anything where you find music. You can find us, except for SoundCloud. Is because the Wi-Fi at my apartment is really slow, and every time I try to upload something up to SoundCloud, it just it gets like it takes 20 minutes to get like 10% done, and then it just crashes.
Oh man!
So you can find us everywhere else.
Okay, but that's it's so you have one of the unique spellings of your name. It's BLVCKHIPPIE. You can find them. You find these guys on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and wherever.
Everything. On Instagram, Twitter, it's I think Facebook too. It's Facebook, you just look up Black Hippie. We're the only band with that name. And on Instagram and Twitter, it's Black Hippie 901. So BLVCKHIPPIE and then 901.
Okay, and we're gonna end this podcast with your song that you've submitted for this album, which comes out on September 3rd. You can find it at musiciansforlabonheur.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and we'll be on iTunes and Amazon and a few other places on sale. So look us up. But this is Hotel Lobby from Black Hippie.